Hi, oh my goodness, here just wanting to go over the March update release notes. There's a number of things that they've updated, but I wanted to provide a quick rundown of the big changes that are coming up. So really quickly for Coast City, they're introducing a practice mode, which is a 5v0 map essentially. They're removing the Coast City queue, so you won't be able to play Coast City as a 5v5 right now, but you can test out new champions there. In replacing Coast City Q, they're introducing a Gotham Divided draft mode. It is not ranked, but it will give you the feeling or the mechanics of the ranked play, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I believe that's how it's going to be. So do test out the Gotham Divided draft mode. It's going to be upcoming with this release. Next big change that they did was drone aggro. Essentially, before the drones would never aggro you if you attack the enemy champion in your lane, as long as there was another enemy drone around. Now, if you do a basic attack on your enemy champion, their drones will attack you. So this is going back and reverting a change that they made a few patches ago. Essentially kind of going back to the standard drone aggro. It's to help balance out I believe it's to help balance out the champions, essentially, the melee champions versus the ranged champions, and kind of balance that out and make it safer for the melee champions in there. They are doing a number of merit increases. I believe it's been increased about 50% overall for each game you play. So the details there are broken down in that site. The other thing that they've done is matchmaking. They tweaked the rules behind the scene to essentially group lower account levels together and group higher account levels together. So if you have an account level lower than 20, you are more likely to be grouped together with other accounts lower than 20, and higher than that, you are more likely to be grouped with accounts higher than 20. There is a balance though in terms of how long you've been in the queue. So those account level rules only apply for the first 8 minutes of while you sit in the queue. So to make sure that you're not just sitting in the queue forever. Another thing that they're coming out with is the French and German clans are now available. I believe Russian was released in the last patch. In this big list of general changes, the one to call out here is the default coloring for your friends and foe. Essentially, they are now default to on friend foe, so you are always blue and the other team will always be red. You can change the colors back to left team blue versus right team red, but it is something to just keep an eye out if you see that change happening. The next big change coming out is something called turret hardening. Essentially, what that means is if you are the only enemy champion within the turret range and there's no other drones for the turret to attack, the turret gets an immediate buff to its attack damage, to its attack penetration, and to its attack armor. So essentially, it will be much harder for you to kill the turret or do damage to the turret, but it will do a increased damage to you. So tower diving is going to be much more daring, and also trying to finishing off a turret without any drones around is going to be much harder. Another thing to call out is the champion kills. So if you manage to kill a champion in-game who is below level 6, they are reducing the amount of credit it gives to the killer. Essentially now it's 60% of their normal value, and it ramps up to 100% once a champion hits level 6. Essentially, I believe this is to help address the aspect of the early ganks. If the jungler happened to get a couple of early ganks early on in the game, I believe the snowballing mechanic was a bit too generous to that, so they're trying to taper that down a little bit. Other things to note in changes in Gotham Divided specifically, essentially they are making the jungle easier earlier on in the game, so they're reducing the overall damage output that the jungle minions do, but they are making it so that it's harder to clear the jungles than in the late game, so that they actually do more damage in the late game. Other big change in Gotham Divided is dampeners. When a dampener respawns, it'll respond to a flat health rate of 2100. Before, it used to be that each time they respawn, they actually reduced with a less maximum amount of health. So now it's going to be fixed. and also they increased the respawn timer from 5 minutes to 7 minutes for the dampeners. As you can see also, there are a number of character bug fixes, but I will cover an overview of the champions changes in the next video. Thanks.